Most people never look twice at a Washington quarter from the early 1980s. It feels ordinary, common, and easy to spend. But the 1981 D Washington quarter dollar tells a very different story once you slow down and really understand what happened that year, where this coin was made, and why collectors quietly pay attention to it today. The year 1981 was unusual for U.S. coinage. America was dealing with inflation, economic uncertainty, and major changes in how coins were produced and saved. Because of these conditions, fewer quarters were set aside by collectors at the time. People were spending them, not preserving them. That decision alone changed the future availability of high-quality examples. The D Mint mark on this quarter tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver was producing coins at a fast pace, but speed often comes at a cost. Many 1981 D quarters were weakly struck, meaning the details did not fully form. That makes strong, sharp examples much harder to find today, especially in uncirculated condition. When you look closely at the obverse, George Washington's hair detail is one of the first areas collectors examine. On many 1981 D quarters, the hair above the ear appears flat or mushy. A coin that shows full hair detail immediately stands out. The same is true for the lettering. Clean, bold letters with no weakness are far less common than people expect. Flip the coin over and the eagle tells another story. The chest feathers, wing tips, and claws are often weak on this issue. A quarter with full feather separation and sharp talons is a strong candidate for premium value. These details matter because grading services reward sharpness heavily. Condition plays an enormous role in value. A circulated 1981 D quarter is usually worth face value. But once you move into mint state territory, the story changes quickly. Coins graded MS63 or MS64 are already scarcer than most people realize. When you reach MS65 and higher, prices can jump dramatically because so few coins survived without bag marks, scratches, or dull surfaces. Luster is another key factor. Many 1981 D quarters lost their original shine due to poor storage and heavy contact with other coins. A bright, original coin with booming luster instantly attracts collectors. These are the quarters that get pulled aside, submitted for grading, and sometimes sell for surprising amounts. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where excitement really builds. Some 1981 D Washington quarters show die cracks, especially around the lettering and the eagle's wings. Minor cracks add interest, but larger cracks can significantly boost value. Off-center strikes are another category collectors love. Even a small off-center error can push a coin far beyond face value, while dramatic ones can sell for hundreds of dollars. Double die errors are extremely rare for this issue, but subtle doubling has been reported on some examples. Collectors examine the date, the word liberty, and in God WE trust closely. Any confirmed doubling immediately transforms an ordinary quarter into a highly desirable collectible. There are also quarters struck on improperly prepared planchets. These errors are rare but real. Coins that are underweight, thin, or show metal flaws can bring strong prices when authenticated. These are the kinds of coins that hide in collections for years before being discovered. Another reason the 1981 D quarter matters is historical context. This coin was struck before the massive wave of modern hoarding and online coin awareness. People did not save rolls of 1981 quarters the way they did with later issues. That means supply at the top levels is permanently limited. Collectors today are much more selective. They are not chasing every quarter, they are chasing the best examples. That shift in collector behavior favors coins like the 1981 D Washington quarter, where high-grade survivors are genuinely scarce. Auction records show that top-graded examples consistently outperform expectations. Each time one sells, it reminds collectors that scarcity is not always about low mintage numbers. Sometimes it is about how many coins survived in pristine condition, and for this issue, that number is surprisingly small. Another overlooked factor is long-term growth. As older collectors leave the market, newer collectors focus more on condition, rarity, and certified coins. That trend benefits modern-era coins like this one. Coins once ignored are now being reevaluated through a different lens. If you own a 1981 D Washington quarter, the first thing you should do is inspect it carefully. Look at the hair detail, the eagle's feathers, the rims, and the overall shine. Avoid cleaning it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. If the coin looks sharp, bright, and untouched, it may be worth professional grading. This is not a coin that makes headlines every day, and that is exactly why it matters. The best opportunities often exist where fewer people are looking. The 1981 D Washington quarter dollar is a quiet contender, hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right collector to recognize its true potential. Sometimes real value doesn't shout. It waits patiently in small details, mint marks, and condition. And that is what makes the 1981 D Washington quarter a coin worth slowing down for, studying closely, and never spending without a second look. The 1982 D Washington quarter dollar is one of those coins that most people spend without thinking, yet it quietly carries a story that surprises even experienced collectors. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary quarter from the early 1980s, but when you slow down and study what was happening at the US Mint that year, the coin begins to reveal why it deserves attention. In 1982, the United States was still feeling the effects of inflation and economic uncertainty. Coin collecting was not popular among the general public, and very few people saved new coins in uncirculated condition. That alone makes high-quality examples from this year harder to find today. The Denver Mint, marked by the small D beneath Washington's ponytail, struck millions of quarters, but quantity did not mean quality. Many 1982 D quarters were struck with weak pressure. This resulted in soft details, especially in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. When collectors examine this coin, the hair above Washington's ear is one of the first areas they study. On most examples, it looks flat and dull. A coin showing strong hair detail immediately stands out as something special. The lettering also tells an important story. Words like liberty and in God we trust often appear weak or uneven on this issue. Coins with bold, crisp lettering are much scarcer than people expect. The rims, too, are often thin or uneven, another sign of rushed production at the Denver Mint during that year. Turning the coin over, the eagle design reveals even more. The chest feathers, wing edges, and talons are frequently weak on 1982 D quarters. A fully struck eagle with clear feather separation is a key indicator of a premium example. Collectors search for this detail because it proves the coin was struck with above-average force. Condition is everything with this coin. Circulated examples are extremely common and usually worth face value. But once you move into mint state condition, the picture changes dramatically. Even coins graded MS63 and MS64 are not as plentiful as you might think. At MS65 and higher, prices can rise sharply because so few coins survived without contact marks or dull surfaces. Luster plays a huge role. Many 1982 D quarters lost their original shine due to poor storage and heavy handling. Coins with bright, original luster catch the eye immediately and are far more desirable. When combined with strong strike and clean surfaces, luster can turn an overlooked quarter into a serious collector piece. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where the 1982 D quarter becomes truly exciting. Die cracks are commonly found on this issue, especially near the lettering and around the eagle's wings. Small cracks add character, but larger dramatic cracks can increase value significantly. Some coins even show multiple cracks, creating a bold and unique appearance. Off-center strikes are another type of error collectors love. A 1982 D quarter struck slightly off-center can already be worth many times face value. More dramatic off-center errors where part of the design is missing can sell for hundreds of dollars when authenticated. There are also examples with doubled die characteristics. Subtle doubling can appear on the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. These coins are rare and require close inspection, but once confirmed, they become highly collectible. Planchet errors are among the most valuable. A quarter struck on an improperly prepared blank may appear thin, underweight, or show metal flaws. These mistakes were never meant to leave the mint, and when they do, collectors are eager to pay strong prices. What makes the 1982 D Washington quarter especially interesting is that it was produced before the modern era of widespread coin saving. Unlike later dates, few rolls were set aside by collectors. That means the supply of high-grade examples is permanently limited. Over time, collectors have begun to appreciate coins like this one for what they truly are. Not rare because of low mintage, but rare because of survival. Every year, fewer pristine examples remain, while demand for certified, high-quality coins continues to grow. Auction results have shown that top-graded 1982 D quarters can exceed expectations. Each sale reinforces the idea that condition rarity matters more than mintage numbers. As more collectors focus on registry sets and top population coins, interest in this issue continues to rise. If you find a 1982 D Washington quarter, examine it carefully before spending it. Look for strong hair detail, bold lettering, sharp eagle feathers, and bright original luster. Never clean the coin because cleaning permanently destroys value. If the coin looks unusually sharp and untouched, it may be worth professional grading. The 1982 D Washington quarter dollar is a perfect example of how hidden value often lives in plain sight. It reminds us that even the most ordinary-looking coins can carry importance when history, minting conditions, and survival all intersect. Sometimes the most rewarding discoveries are not the loudest or most famous coins, but the quiet ones waiting patiently in everyday change. And that is exactly what makes the 1982 D Washington quarter a coin worth noticing, studying, and holding onto just a little longer.